Let's be real for a second. You're not addicted to your phone. You're just terrified of being alone with your own thoughts. You're stuck in the doom scroll loop, chasing external validation and treating silence like it's an allergy. You think FOMO is the enemy, so you stay busy just to feel important. But here's the truth. You will never find your main character energy in a crowded room. If you're tired of feeling like an NPC in your own life, you need to learn the art of ghost mode. This is the story of the iron worker, and it's your literal blueprint for turning loneliness into your biggest superpower. Stop scrolling. It's time to enter the forge. We live in a world that is allergic to silence. The moment we experience solitude, we reach for the phone. It's a reflex, right? We need a text, a notification, or a podcast, anything to drown out the noise in our own heads. We think that being surrounded by people means we are loved. We think that being busy makes us important. But here is the truth that nobody tells you. You cannot find your purpose in a crowd. If you want to fix your life, you don't need a party.
You don't need a new relationship. You need to learn how to stay alone.
A man will call the iron worker, and it's the story of why your inner strength is hiding in your isolation. The iron worker was the most popular guy in his town. You know the type. He was the yes man. If you needed a favor, he was there. If you needed someone to fill a seat at dinner, he was there. But behind the smile, he struggled with a deep fear of missing out. If his phone wasn't buzzing by 6 p.m. on a Friday, he felt a crushing weight in his chest. He felt unwanted. He defined his self-worth by how many people surrounded him. He was a mirror simply reflecting the personalities of everyone else, but he had no face of his own. One day, the inevitable happened. The great silence came. He lost his job, his relationship ended, and suddenly the friends who loved him for his utility, they disappeared, ghosted. For the first time in 10 years, the ironworker had nowhere to go. He sat in his apartment. It was quiet, terrifyingly quiet. He felt weak. He felt like a loser. He thought, I am dealing with loneliness because I failed. But he was wrong. He wasn't buried. He was planted. He remembered an old story his grandfather told him about making Japanese katanas, the strongest swords in the world. You don't forge a sword in a pile of other metal. To make a blade that can cut through armor, you have to isolate the steel. You have to put it in the fire alone. You have to hammer out the impurities alone. The ironworker realized he was full of impurities, other people's opinions, other people's dreams, and social anxiety. He decided to make a radical choice. He decided to stay alone and embrace the silence. He turned off his phone notifications to start a dopamine detox. He stopped chasing the invites. He didn't go to the mountains to become a monk. He just stayed in his room. But this time, he wasn't sulking. He was working on personal growth. The first week was hell. His brain screamed for distraction. But by the second week, the fog cleared. When you spend time alone, the voices of the world die down, and finally, you can hear your own voice. He started to read. He started to exercise, not to look good for others, but to build mental toughness. He picked up a skill he had abandoned years ago. He realized that a wolf is strongest when it travels with the pack, but it learns to hunt when it is alone. 6 months passed. The ironworker finally emerged. He went to a local gathering. His old friends were there. They were talking about the same drama, complaining about the same bosses, telling the same jokes. They looked at him. He looked different. He wasn't louder. In fact, he was quieter, but he had a presence, a gravity. One friend asked, "Where have you been? You disappeared." The ironworker smiled. "I didn't disappear. I was just visiting myself." He realized that before he was a beggar asking for validation. Now he was a king who brought value to the table. He didn't need them to feel whole. He was whole all by himself, and because he didn't need them, they were suddenly drawn to him. That is the paradox of life. When you run from the fear of being alone, you are easily manipulated. When you learn to stay alone, you become unbreakable. Maybe you are watching this right now and you feel lonely. You feel like everyone else is having fun without you. Stop looking at the highlight reels. This social isolation, this gap in your life, it is not a punishment. It is a gift. It is your time in the forge. Don't run from the silence. Embrace it. Sit with your thoughts. Face your demons. Focus on yourself. If you can learn how to be happy alone, you have won the game of life. Because if you find joy in your own company, no one can ever take your happiness away from you. So, for a little while, stay alone. Build your foundation, and when you're ready, come back not as a reflection of others, but as the light that leads them. And hey, I know I just told you to turn off your phone and stop seeking validation, but if you hit that subscribe button before you vanish into the void, I promise I won't tell the ironworker. Consider it the only notification that actually adds steel to your armor. See you in the forge.